Jonathan Zucchini and Drew Levin. Table 11 at Lil Yon.
Wow, some good Drew Levin
Yeah.
versus Jonathan Zucchini. So
He lost round 1, and then he won all the way up to, I want to say, round 6 when he lost to Throwing Bird Beatdown.
Throwing Bird Beatdown.
Yes, Throwing Bird Beatdown.
In Grand Architect? Or?
Yes.
Man,
It was.
that's pretty absurd.
Yeah. Sounds like Kansas City's doing pretty well here. Kyle Demitsky and Brian Boss both representing. Just
Is Kyle from Kansas City?
Kyle's originally from Kansas City. Yeah.
Wow, did not know.
I have stayed at his parents' house the last 2 events there. They have a planetarium in the backyard.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like a whole planetarium?
Yeah. It might just be like a large round top telescope, but I think it's a planetarium. I know they've had field trips from schools there.
So, for today's class, we're going to go to Kyle Dubinsky's house.
Yeah.
And go to his observatory.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, that's cool. So we'll have Kyle, the stargazer, Dubinsky.
Yeah. It's pretty appropriate that he's winning with some silly aggro deck like this. He won a Versus Pro circuit with some silly aggro deck like this. You know.
Just with bigger numbers.
Yeah. It's, basically like Ravager style deck. You just like pump one guy and you hit them, and then you hit them again and they die. Yeah.
So it looks like they're getting deck checked. So we got some time to fill. Hopefully there'll be no game losses involved. So
yeah. Want to see a full round being played?
yes, I mean it was great to be able to get 2 matches in last time. Though.
Yeah, I mean if they get deck checked and get a game loss, it could possibly be over in 5 minutes after that. Who knows?
Depending on what the matchup is. I mean, Tempered Steel can get some pretty quick draws.
Yeah. It also sounded like another Pure Steel deck was doing well. I heard Caleb Derwood's name up for the feature matches at table around 8 or so. We don't have the standings right now, but I'd assume that means he's probably, X2, maybe at the worst, X1 probably.
Yeah, now Pure Steel is supposed to be an advantage against the Tempered Steel decks.
But that was only in block, I think.
That's only in block. So what happens that changes the dynamic?
So in block, Pure Steel had 4 Sword of War and Peace, which was a huge upgrade from Feast and Famines. You had Vault Scourges and stuff to match flyers. The Tempered Steel deck only had 4 Tempered Steel. It didn't have Steel Overseer. And the Pure Steel deck, it still has Mortar Pod, which is really good, but it's just a different deck. It's not like this, it doesn't have this size advantage between like heroes and more lands, and like some of the lists had Blade Splicer and Mirren Crusader and all these fat guys that could, go over the top of Tempered Steel guys, assuming they don't have a Tempered Steel. And that's the other problem, is that Pure Steel doesn't really have the Relic Warders or Revoke Existences it had in block because you just didn't want them.
Right.
So, Pure Steel's showing up a different deck without the hate, and Tempered Steel's just the same 75. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think is the defining turning point of that kind of matchup?
Based on what we saw, it's whoever gets their engine online. Or whoever gets it online first and fastest. Like, Kyle got Temper Steel into play, or Steel Overseer active 2 games, and the other one was Kyle just didn't get it active. So, yeah.
Oh, we're getting a different match apparently. Since that one was deck checked. So we'll get to your match shortly. Not sure if we're going to see Tempered Steel anymore. We'll see what our options are. Regardless, I mean, during the break while you and Jerry were on, I walked by the feature match table and just saw a bunch of different decks playing. It was great, very refreshing.
It's a brand new format. It's not Stoneforge the format.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a myriad of possibilities. So I'm excited to see what we'll be getting this round. But I mean, there's definitely a good combination of aggro control and combo decks. So.
Yes. It seems like there's a little bit more combo, maybe a little bit less control right now, but I think that's just because this is the first event. Control for the very first event, usually does a bit worse. So I think that moving forward in the weeks, we'll start seeing a bit more control.
Yeah, like I said, very surprised. I've seen almost no blue-black control today. I don't know if it's just because everyone opted for blue-white instead, but
I don't know. Jerry was saying that the blue-black lists were kind of turning into these rock decks without Jason. Like, you had to draw the right half of your deck at the right time.
Sure, because it's right. It's true. You go like turn 1 Inquisition, and like take their thing, and then you're like, turn 2 Doomblade. Like the only way to recruit cards is Jace Beleren, or Jace's Ingenuity if you're into that kind of thing.
There's probably a correct balance of card draw and cards that do stuff that has to be reached, and the right balance of threats, but it needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Well, who's gonna fix it?
I don't know. Not me. I'm good with Tempered Steel.
I mean, people I would normally turn to play to fix blue-white control can't right now. So who's gonna tune it?
Fair enough.
I think we'll see although like with blue-white being so open here, or so popular here, I feel like we'll probably see a lot of blue-white in the future, meaning it'll be the deck that gets tuned. Although I feel blue-black could be pretty good as well.
Yeah.
So.
I think that blue-white is probably going to see a big boost from this weekend. I think that people are realizing that Caw-Blade is not really dead at all, and it's still a good deck. It's a fair deck, but I think a lot of the people who were attracted to it before are going to be attracted to it for the same reasons now.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote my article this week on Caw-Blade, on the new Caw-Blade deck, and after seeing it in action today, I feel pretty confident that's a good choice.
So it looks like our feature match is Ben Friedman versus Rob Vaca.
Ooh, exciting. I don't know
what either list is, so that'll be interesting to see. And here we go.
All right, let's see what we have. So on your right is Ben Friedman, and on your left, Rob Vaca. Looks like Ben is jamming a deck with Squadron Hawks.
And basic planes, and it looks like a blue-white deck of some sort.
Yeah, blue-white.
It looks like a Hero Blade holder. I think that's Caw-Blade again.
All right.
And back to the usual.
Just took 6 rounds to get here.
Yeah.
To be fair, the format is still pretty diverse.
Yeah.
I see a lot of other things out there. I think people just weren't really prepared to see Caw-Blade again. On the right side of the wood in Ben's deck, I'm not sure if he's mono white with Squadron Hawks or maybe there's a. There's a Colonnade.
It's blue white.
Looks like a Caw-Blade mirror match.
Okay, let's go.
So be interested to see what the difference between these two builds are. All right, so Ben serves in for 1 with that Squadron Hawk, slowly squawking away at Rob's life total. And here comes down another Hawk.
This spreading seas is looking interesting right now. Might actually fix his mana.
Let's see. Puts Colonnade into play tapped.
And Rob's going to need to find something to efficiently deal with it. Looks like Rob is on more of a Venser control deck. I always say that because I see the card Venser in his hand. Maybe that's a wall of them. It's not a Hero Blade hold.
Second off, this is a bit more important, so I appreciate your strict attention.
Venser, I mean, you could be playing the straight blue-white control deck.
They're getting married. If we discover that anybody interferes, disrupts, disrespects, or otherwise ruins this occasion for these people, you will be summarily ejected from the event and banned from any future Star City Games tournaments.
So,
Please show these people
Ben's turn. Here comes Tectonic Edge.
Yes. Show to us.
And there's a
Hero Blade hold right after the Day of Judgment. Rob looks like a Gideon, so this isn't the worst thing that could happen, but it's going to take a bit of fighting, I think, to get out of. There's a Wall of Omens.
All right.
That's one we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. So Rob's deck is way different from the Caw-Blade. He's playing blue-white control.
Here's the blue-white control deck we've been looking for all day.
Right, yeah. I've been waiting to see if someone brought the Venser deck. I remember online people kept complaining about Vensers and Blade Splicers and all that kind of stuff. So here is finally that archetype.
I know Billy P played this at Dallas, and that was in the era of Caw-Blade, but it was still a deck.
Yeah, it's still a deck, and we've seen other people play it too. We saw David Scharfman play it a couple opens ago, and people have been working on it.
Yeah, it's Venser's a very powerful card, and in control mirrors, he's definitely this big, sort of inevitable threat that, when I played with him in singles at Block, there was the entire matchup of blue-white was just, how do I not get Venser? How do I take their Venser with Volition Range to ultimate it? So.
And speaking of things you don't want to happen to you, Rob looks like he's got a Consecrated Sphinx in his hand, which, I
don't think that's going to happen very soon with these double Tectonic Edges, but Consecrated Sphinx is yet another card that people don't want to have to play against.
For a second, I thought Ben was tapping out to cast something. I was going to say Rob could easily untap and go Sphinx, but now he's got some time.
Yeah.
All right.
Rob goes down to 15.
Yep, looks like he's dropping to 15.
got a couple more lands to get there with, but
Looks like he's got Mana Leak, Sphinx, and 2 Gideons.
it's a Venser and a Gideon.
Venture and a Gideon.
And a Glacial Fortress.
And a Glacial Fortress. Huh.
Ben still has a pretty full grip. Getting in there for 8 damage with these tokens.
Uh-oh. Yeah, things are looking bad for Rob Vaca here. I mean, he's going to play Gideon this turn and probably
Just fog
off.
with it.
Well, or did you just off the hero?
That could happen too.
Then you off the hero and you probably start fogging after that. I guess maybe you get Collinated.
Yeah, he's at 7. Yeah, he's just dead if he does that.
Oh, no, Ben doesn't have enough lands to do that.
Oh, that's true.
He hasn't played any more lands since he Tectonic Edged.
Ben, yeah, looks. He has another land. There we go.
All right, there's a preordering.
Yep. I think. How about that resolve?
I kind of like Mana Leaking that, actually.
So
just because you're not going to have a good opportunity to Mana Leak much more in the future.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, here the deck was finally we got them in front of us. So Rob is indeed playing a blue-white deck. He's got Karn Liberated, Consecrated Sphinx, Solemn Simulacrum, which is kind of a sweet one to venture in and out.
Karn? How many? 1?
Yeah, 1 Karn.
Yeah, the right number.
A lot of things you would expect: Oblivion Ring, Stoic Rebuttal, Mana Leak, Day of Judgment, Spreading Seas.
Yeah, not necessarily the most things to Venser, but Venser's good enough just to be Venser. The Solemn, Wall, and Spreading Seas are all pretty good. Just moving Oblivion Ring, maybe. He only has 25 lands, which it's a little light compared to the blue-white list we've seen in the past.
With 4 Spreading Seas.
Yeah, he does have a lot of cantrips. 4 Tectonic Edge, standard duels. Ben has 4 heroes, a couple Blade Splicers, Mirren Crusaders, Squadron Hawks, Gideon Jura, Dismember, Oblivion Ring, Spell Pierce, Mana Leak, Preordain, Sword of Feast of Famine. So, standard fare we've been seeing from all these Callblade decks. 26 lands, 2 Ink Moss, same mana base that pretty much all of them have had all day. Tectonic Edge, all the duels, 4 islands, 4 planes.
So Rob drops down that Gideon, and he does force everything to attack Gideon.
Yep. Fogs for a turn, see if you can get another Day of Judgment, I'm assuming.
That's gotta be what he's looking for. Yeah, I mean, he only has 2 in his deck, though.
Yeah. Ben doesn't really have Into the Royal, so it's going to buy him a turn for sure. Ben plays is that a 3rd Preordain in a row? Yep.
I know, I still kind of like executing the hero there, but...
I don't know. It's kind of rough.
Because if you execute hero, he serves in with 4 tokens on Gideon. Gideon, you block 1, Gideon drops to 1 counter, and then you +2 him.
Yeah, that's probably a good play to execute the hero there then.
I mean, then you'll have to use your second Gideon, but I don't know. See,
He has a Venser though. It's not a second Gideon.
Oh, it's right. It's a Vince, not a second Gideon.
Yeah.
You forget getting that. Well,
The army of soldiers bears down. And
yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
And Gideon bites the dust.
Yeah. Executing the hero seems like a better play in that respect, I think.
I mean, I guess if you're playing to rip Day of Judgment, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But I think Gideon might give you another turn. Because if you go execute hero, Gideon drops, and then you +2 here, then you buy another turn to find a Day of Judgment.
It buys more than another turn because not all the soldiers are in play. Only 4 of them are.
Right. I mean, granted, you can get Collinated, but...
Yeah. But that's a couple turns down the line when you've already +2'd.
Yeah, exactly.
Robert draws another Mana Leak, it looks like.
Rob draws Stoic Rebuttal, and that's going to be it.
Yeah. That was pretty brutal.
Yep, so Hero of Blade Hold, doing what the hero does best.
Attacks once, kills you. Attacks twice, kills you more.
And Ben is off to a quick 1-0 lead.
So let's take a look at the sideboards here.
Yep.
So Ben's probably not going to bring these Day of Judgments or these Flash Freezes. Probably not even these mental missteps.
No.
Timely Reinforcements doesn't seem very good for him. Probably not.
Although we did see Edgar Flores bring it in against Jonathan Sukenick.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Really weird. I think he might have boarded them out for Game 3, but before we got it on camera, I walked back over there. I watched him cast Timely Reinforcements.
Huh. Interesting.
I didn't like it in that matchup, but I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. It's definitely not good here, though, against this Planeswalker control deck.
No, definitely not.
Spellskite's probably not what you want. You probably just want to be proactive. This Oblivion Ring's definitely getting in.
Yeah, I think that's the one card that you're bringing in.
Yeah, probably for Dismember. You know,
or Blade Splicer or something.
Probably Dismember. Like, what threats would like? It's gonna kill a wall of omens. What threats is this blue-white deck gonna really present that die?
No, that's right. Yeah.
Are you afraid of like Baneslayer Angel maybe?
A Baneslayer or maybe a Titan you want to trade with or something?
Sure, maybe it takes out I think Mirror Crusader is probably worse than Blade Splicer. Both are 4 power for 3 mana, but Mirror Crusader dies to a single removal spell.
I kind of like taking a Dismember, actually. I mean, you're bringing in another reactive card that deals with the Titan anyway, right?
Right.
So.
That's probably a fair one.
Yeah.
Then Rob has Timely Reinforcements. That could be... I don't know. It's probably not enough. It doesn't beat Hero Blade Hold. It doesn't beat Squadron Hawks. It doesn't really beat Blade Splicer. It doesn't beat any of Ben's creatures, actually. So it's probably not actually good here. No, they all have First Strike, or they fly, or they're 3/4s. Oust probably isn't that good.
No. Leyline of Sanctity, no.
Day of Judgment's probably good.
Yeah, Third Day might be alright, because I think the one way Rob is going to lose is just like random stuff like Hero Blade Hold, like we saw.
He might bring in... I can see Oust, too. Maybe. Like, 1 Oust or something. Just don't die to Hero.
Well, looking at what he has to take out, I mean, it's kind of the same situation, where I think the main card he has to take out is probably Dismember, which he wants to keep in. That's a way better removal spell.
I think that he might be okay with taking out... I don't know. Solemn's Mulcrum.
It seems like...
Solemn's probably not very good in this matchup.
Maybe. Seems like you want to be able to make sure your Venture always does something, but maybe Solemn is 4 mana, do nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, Solemn might not be necessary.
Yeah. Especially because you're boarding in another 4 mana sorcery.
Yeah. Right. Even if Solemn is kind of sweet with Day of Judgment.
Right. And Venture's kind of cute because it gives you more mana later on, which is a bit important.
It's funny because the original design, a lot of people probably don't know this, but the original design for Solemn Simulacrum triggered whenever it left the battlefield. You drew
right. Yeah, it was 2 and a blue and a green instead of an artifact.
Yeah, 2 and a blue and a green, and so it got changed. So only when it went to the graveyard. So it's funny now because if that's the way Solemn had been, and you had ventured it out, it could be pretty insane. Like rampant growth, draw a card every time. At the time, it was a concern because of Astral Slide.
Oh, Astral Slide. That was back.
And it was still played in Astral Slide.
Yes. It was still good in Astral Slide.
Right.
It still led to game states where Astral Slide mirrors would result in playing Obliterate, floating 8 mana to play a Chrome.
I'll never forget the time that while I was busy doing homework in our hotel room, and keeping you and Max McCall up, you both decided to play mirror matches of Astral Slide.
Yeah,
for no good reason.
We rebuilt decks from like 8 years ago on proxies and just heads up battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just no good reason, you know.
No, I had Blazes and Obliterates. He had like Decree of Annihilations and something else. So like it was close. It was interesting. See who had the better trumps from the mirror.
Oh man.
See who would win in the F&M finals, 2001 or whatever it was. 2002, I guess Mirrodin was. I have no idea.
Revisiting old formats is weird with the knowledge we have now. It always feels so strange, especially drafting old formats.
Oh yeah.
I was talking to you about this last night, but I've redrafted Ravnica some recently, and every time it just feels so much different because people play way differently than they used to. You know?
It's not all these 2/2 flyers for 4 just crunching around each other. It's people attack.
Yeah. Yeah, but like back in the day, no one ever attacked. Like in Ravnica Limited, unless you were like Steve Sadin playing Skargan Pit Skull, people like just played these slow like card advantage games. And I did a draft like not too long ago where some people just like drafted like a red-white really quick beatdown deck, and it was like, oh well, I guess
that didn't exist last time.
Yeah,
I guess you could.
I mean, I've drafted like the Trumpeter deck before, but never like a pretty quick red-white beatdown deck.
In the three set format, was just like sometimes you had just big guys in the attacks, but it was never that aggressive.
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
match
is kicking off. So Ben kept his 7, but it looks like Rob went down to 6, trying to find something a little better to play with.
Yeah. And he's okay with the 6. Leads on a Celestial Colonnade.
Yep.
He has Preordain, Wall of Omens, Spreading Seas, and it looks like 2 more lands.
That seems like a pretty reasonable hand. That's about as good of a 6 as you could probably ask for.
Oh, it's a Gideon draw. Even better, I think. Or some kind of Planeswalker.
Spreading Seas on Celestial Colonnade.
It's a Venser. That's really good for a 6.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Ben taps his now Island Colonnade and a Plains. Gonna play a Squadron Hawks and get that party started.
Let's see. So Hawk comes down. That card can be pretty brutal. In this matchup, you have to day them away, but if you play them correctly, you can really get a lot of value out of each set.
I remember with the actual not actual, but old Callblade versus Control, it was a lot about managing your Squadron Hawks so that they had to use all of their removal on them to not die. You know, build your own air elemental that could never be Doombladed.
Right. Yeah.
Rob preordains. It looks like he put one on top, one on bottom.
Yep.
Draws him into the Royal. Maybe that was both on bottom, but we'll see. And it looks like he's going to play a Wall of Omens.
All right. Cantrips finds a card. Wall of Omens is interesting because normally in these matchups, it's okay, but first of all, it blocks Blade Splicer, blocks Hero Bladehold, which is alright.
Yeah.
But also just flickering with Venser is so huge.
Yeah, Venser really changes that card around. Now that Venser's a realistically playable thing without Stoneforge Spell Pierce everywhere.
Huh. Right. And if you could ever go Ultimate on Venser.
Yeah, it's real hard to lose after that happens. Rob plays a Preordain after playing a Glacial Fortress, trying not to get mana leaked, because it looks like he's just trying to get everything he could ever want right now. One on top, one on bottom. Draws a Gideon Jura.
Wow.
Passes the turn back. So Rob has Into the Royal, Gideon Jura, a land, and a Day of Judgment, and a Venser. So he's got a lot of the tools he's going to need to actually fight this game.
Yeah, if he can stick that Venser and then hold, Day of Judgment or something similar back, it's gonna swing the game in his favor drastically.
Yeah. Ben plays a Squadron Hawk and keeps the chain going.
Hawking away. And the question is, does Ben have another land, or another couple lands so we can start activating that colonnade?
Or so he can start playing some bigger threats with mana up to counter.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe not,
Rob draws another Wall of Omens. He's going to tap out for this Venser.
All right, he goes for it. Does Ben have the mana leak?
Yes, he does.
Ben mana leaks.
I think that Venser's more important than Gideon right now, or less important than Gideon right now, so he led on that one. Just drawing a card every turn, it probably isn't as important as everything Gideon does,
which is everything.
Actually, now that I say that, I don't really know. Like, Venser drawing cards, like, Gideon doesn't actually kill them.
Yeah, drawing cards is big. I think the biggest difference is that Venser can be gunned down by the colonnade.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, drawing a couple cards is useful, but if you lead on Gideon this turn, it's going to get mana leaked.
Yeah.
Then you go untap Venser, maybe you get a card out of it, and then they just colonnade plus Hawk you.
Well, I was thinking maybe a couple turns down the line after clearing the Hawks out of the way, like getting a stable board, Venser starts really getting out of hand, but I don't know. It's tough to tell.
Let's see. And down comes Hero Bladehold. So that was the card that ended Rob Vaca last game. We'll see if it does it again. Rob thinking about how he's going to be able to beat that this turn. Do you think he's going to go for a day?
I think he pretty much... I don't think he can risk Gideon because of Oblivion Ring. But maybe he doesn't... I don't know. I think he has to day.
I think you have to day, too. I mean, you're facing so much damage otherwise.
Yeah. And plus, if you day and Hero lives, you can just assassinate it down anyways.
Let's see. 3, 4, 5.
Guess it's just Gideon.
All right, Gideon time.
Good old Fog Gideon strikes again.
Well, let's see. That's. Yep. Yeah, no. That is just a fog.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that play. I mean, it just feels like you're throwing away your Gideon.
Does that work right with your Bladehold? Do they come into play attacking Gideon if you want them to?
No. They just attack the player. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So then that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if Rob knows how that works, or at least hopes he knows how that works. Yeah, they'll come into play attacking the player, not Gideon.
Looks like Ben's debating an Oblivion Ring, probably. Which would be... Nope, just cracking in for Colonnade.
Serves with everybody. That's still going to be enough to take down Gideon.
It will, in fact, be enough.
Yep, Gideon goes down, and Rob takes 4 extra points of damage in the process.
Yes.
Yep.
Puts him to 12, I believe.
That's what it sounds like, 12. Now Rob has to go for Day of Judgment. I still like Daying last turn, but you have to pretty much Day this turn. Tectonic Edge is a pretty good draw for Rob here.
Yeah. He doesn't really have Planeswalkers to protect right now, but in the future he definitely will. So Day of Judgment with Spell Pierce mana up resolves.
He tapped 4 for that, right?
Yeah, he had 6 mana last turn, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so. I just stacked all his lands together, so. Let's see, so what's that in Rob's hand right now? I see End of the Royal and...
Wall.
Wall, okay.
Yet another hero.
Okay. Now, Rob does have the End of the Royal to buy a turn on that hero.
Yeah. We'll likely wait on that. Really, you can choose who to attack on hero. Interesting. So there was no need to animate that, Huh.
So people on Twitter on forums that you can choose who to attack when you attack with a hero against a Gideon. I was informed by a local judge otherwise, but
yeah,
apparently that's not the case.
Well, that was an end of turn unkicked into the Royal and ship both off the preordain he drew for his turn.
Looks like he found a land.
Yeah, pretty unnecessary at this point. Wall of Omens goes and can't really tell what that is. Another Tectonic Edge.
All right, well, the Tech Edge is certainly good, but the Hero Bladehold is going to be a big issue.
Looks like Ben may have 2 in his hand as of now, so...
Oh, man. And Ben has double Tectonic Edge of his own, let's not forget. Or are those Inkmoth Nexus?
Inkmoth Nexus.
Those are Inkmoth Nexus? Okay. Huh. Let's see. Rob draws a card. Oblivion Ring. That's a good one to draw.
It is, in fact. Rob hellbent now. Ben with what it looks like is a reasonable grip of cards. Looks like Ben's tapping a lot of mana for Oblivion Ring on Oblivion Ring and a Squadron Hawk. Brings back his hero. Did we miss a Inkmoth Nexus attack? There's 2 mana that's tapped more than I thought. Oh, there's the other Hawk into play. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to hand.
All right, so Ben pulling ahead here pretty nicely.
Yes. Rob draws. Celestial Colonnade.
Let's see. Colonnade comes down. But Ben's gonna be able to serve for so many points of damage this turn.
Yeah, it's...
Let's see.
8 minimum.
Oh, I mean, so Rob's got the Tech Edge.
It's 8.
For the Colonnade. But yeah, the 8 from the 2 tokens and the 2 Squadron Hawks. Will be pretty potent, dropping Rob down to only 4 life.
Yeah.
Man.
Looks like he's gonna have one draw step to get out of this.
What? You can guess draw what? Day of Judgment, probably?
Yeah, Gideon Cycles. Let's see. Okay, it looks like Ben's considering whether he wants to force the Tectonic Edge. Did you just pass back without attacking?
Wait.
Oh, because Rob has mana up to activate his mana land and would block the hero down.
Block the hero.
There we go.
Huh?
Rob looks like he sees, I think that's a sad robot and a mana leak, neither of which he wants. Plays another Wall of Omens, clogging up the board. And passes with Manland mana up again. But, let's see here. We're at a bit of a standstill here.
Yeah, Ben basically has to find a Tectonic Edge for... Are there 2 colonnades, though?
Yes.
Or is that 3 colonnades?
3... Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah.
Rob has a Consecrated Sphinx now, so...
Oh, that could blow this game wide open. Now, granted, he'll have to tap under his colonnades for it, but the 4 power should still be enough to block just fine, right?
Maybe, who knows? Could be afraid of it. Looks like he's going for it. Consecrated Sphinx. Ben trying to figure out what to do here.
Sphinx is such a complete breaker. If Ben Dead doesn't deal with it, Rob is going to wrench control of this game.
Yes.
I don't know what's in Ben's hand. I haven't really been able to get a good look.
I haven't either. I think he might be debating whether to use a mana leak on it.
And just make him tap 3. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I figured he was thinking about. All right, well, you pay
Rob
3.
has to. Maybe he's just debating what mana he wants to leave up, depending on, 2 Tectonic Edge, okay.
Use a double tech edge. Plays the planes, passes. Ben draws a card. Rob draws 2 cards.
Rob draws a Day of Judgment, and it looks like...
Dismember.
Dismember? Yeah. Ben draws... Looks like that's an
Oblivion Ring.
Oh, no.
Good draw. Well, I mean, Rob has a Dismember for the hero. So it's not that bad.
He goes on to 6 because of this?
Well, you hit the hero before it attacks, right?
Right, but the Squadron Hawks is... Oh, that's a Feast and Famine.
Oh, my.
This is getting a little wild here. Squadron Hawks gets suited up. Rob is considering whether he wants to stop that, but it doesn't really matter. He's got to kill the hero. Nope, not killing the hero, I guess.
Is there an option where you can take the damage and then day on your turn, or will you just die to
You can take the damage.
land?
He has 1 card in hand. How can he take the damage?
Well, no, if he doesn't Dismember.
Oh, 4, 5, 6. No, it's exact season if he does that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. He has to dismember, I guess. It's just very awkward.
So now he's going to take 3, and he tech edges down that land.
Takes 5.
Are you sure it's exactly?
He goes to 8 off the dismember on the hero, right?
No, he doesn't cast dismember.
Oh, he doesn't cast dismember at all. Yeah. So he gets 3 ground attackers. 1 token gets through for 2. 1 hawk gets through for 2, and the Sworded Hawk gets in for 2/2.
Okay, so he would go to 4 life, and he'd be able to
Oh
untap
yeah, you go to
and
4
day.
to his dismember. So
Right,
yeah.
he'd go to 4
You're
life.
right. I forgot he
and
didn't
day.
lose the 4 off dismember. There we go.
Yeah, and then he's got Colonnade to block an opposing Colonnade, plus 2 Tectonic Edges.
Yeah.
And I think Rob Vaca is probably ahead at that point. Or at least on parity.
Yeah.
Like, way better than the situation he's in right now, anyway.
Which is dead.
Yeah, like, he needed that Day of Judgment.
I agree.
Yeah. I think Rob might have made a slight misplay there at the end. So, Ben Friedman takes the game, 2-0, and that's the match.
Yeah. It's a pretty fast blue-white mirror. That it.
Yeah. Out of Blue White Mirror, Squadron Hawk, Hero Blade Hold. Those guys will close things up pretty quickly.
So, let's see. One more round till top 8.
One more round till top 8. This round plus 1 more. If you guys don't know how this works in the quarterfinals, we'll play those tonight, and we'll see how the quarterfinals end up. However, the semifinals and the finals won't be played out until tomorrow morning. So we'll do the quarterfinals, see what makes it to the top 4, and then we'll come back bright and early at 8 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, and we'll find out who the champion of the standard portion is going to be.
It's definitely going to be a good time.
Yeah. Who do you think? Who do you have your eyes set on for this?
I think Kyle DaVinci's gonna close it out with this Temper Steel deck.
Really?
All of the lists we've seen so far are just completely underprepared for that deck.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was talking to a friend of mine out on the floor who actually is here from Seattle, and he was telling me about how he's playing Tempered Steel, and like no one has had any hate for him all day long.
Was that Teddy?
No, it's a friend of mine named Dan, but he's X and 2 going into this round. But he's just like, the 2 matches I lost were legitimate losses, but nobody's had any hate for my deck all day long.
It's people are not ready for it right now.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of the top 8, we're gonna do something a little different this time around. Normally we give away a bunch of premium in the top 8. But we have something even better lined up. Better than premium, what could it possibly be? Well, we're still gonna be giving away tons of premium in the quarterfinals and semifinals. But in the finals, in lieu of premium, we're giving away Gen Con badges.
Which, incidentally, is this year's national championships are there.
So if you want to come and grind, per se.
You show up, you have your Gen Con badge, you don't have to pay for that. Just go in, you get to play Magic. It's even beyond nationals and the grinders. It's Gen Con. There's all sorts of events. There's vintage champs, legacy champs, I think still was there this year. Just everything.
Yeah, I mean, so